Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there is a link in the info box once the video has rendered. If you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please share the show, as sharing the show obviously increases the audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we have got Sleeping Warrior with us. How are you doing, Sleeping Warrior? Good to have you here.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good to have you.
You're good. Just finishing the kettle off and nearly done.
Excellent stuff.
I think Ali B might be joining us.
Oh, excellent.
I've sent him a link. He may join if he doesn't.
Did you see my response video to Tim Osman?
Pardon?
Did you see my Tim Osman response video?
Yeah. I wouldn't. To be honest, I wouldn't have even responded to him. The guy just misrepresents everything that's said. He presents an argument that wasn't made. He makes stuff up. He deliberately states things that are false, presumably to try and discredit you, me, us. And to be honest, it's embarrassing because he claims to be some kind of like cult leader or ringleader or protagonist or whatever, yet never brings any evidence to the debate. Always talks about celestial spheres that he can't prove. And we're expected just to like, and I don't see him as anything more than a troll. Ali,
Hey, Ali. How you doing?
Yep.
Good to have you.
Okay.
I saw parts of his hangout last night, and it's clear that Tim's either not been paying attention or he's deliberately being dishonest. He's saying things that I have said, stand by, have not changed my position on, and I'm not trying to get my story straight. I've said the same thing from day one. I've given concessions for the sake of discussion, but retracted them continuously, keeping things on track. I'm not trying to get my story straight. I maintain my position. We see land that should not be there at 35 feet. Now, there was a disagreement over why I've not presented the evidence to support my claim of the elevation being 35 feet. And the answer is simple. Tim knows the answer to this, but he's presented it in such a way that I am in some way being dishonest with it, and it's simply nonsense. The assertion by the ball earthers was that there could be 30 meters of elevation variance either way. It could be 30 meters higher or it could be 30 meters lower. And on that basis, Ranty and I went back to check it, and we found no evidence to support that assertion in this observation. None. So the challenge was, Tim was challenging me for why I've not produced that evidence. And the answer is simple. It's your assertion, and we've checked it. I'm happy with it. Branty's happy with it, and it stands. So we don't need to produce your evidence for your assertion. It's you that needs to produce evidence to support your assertion. Otherwise, it's an assertion without evidence, and it can be dismissed without evidence. Right? So let's just get it clear, Timothy. Your assertion is that the elevation can be up to 100 meters higher. Okay? Sorry, 100 feet higher. And I've checked it, I've measured it, and using trigonometry and known science and known physics, I'm satisfied that that doesn't apply in this case. And if you think it does, come and prove it wrong. Come and get evidence and prove it wrong. I get that you're in Australia, America, but there are people, there are dishonest people out here like Paul Voigt, Scott Veach, Al Kay, Miles the Liar Davis. They can come and do these things. They can come and measure it. So, Tim, if you think that I'm trying to get my story straight by reasserting my position rather than presenting my evidence, unfortunately, Tim, you don't understand the rules of evidence. Your assertion was that it was 30 meters variation, not mine. I checked it, and I'm satisfied that it's not. If you think it's not...
Hi, Jamie Woodstock. How you doing? Good to have you. Oh, gone already?
If you think that it's not in some way 30 meters variation or whatever nonsense that you want to come up with, then come and produce the evidence that shows that the 30 meters does apply. Because I've tested your assertion and it's nonsense, Timothy. That's not me changing my position. That's me just testing your assertion and not giving you the evidence because you guys can't honestly do it yourself.
Position is it's a model being tested and that model gives values. Simple. That's the assertion. You're not asserting it's anything in terms of height. You're saying we are testing this model. Now, there's some great sound bites from that in terms of him saying, well, Google disclaimed that it's only there for entertainment purposes. It's like, really? Google's just a bit of entertainment, is it? The globe Earth's a bit of fun. Lovely.
Yeah, I'm going to claim that they've put that there because of me. just
fair enough.
Just for shits and giggles, really. The reality is that there is no elevation variation relevant in this observation. And I'm happy that it is what it says it is. We see land at 35 feet that should not be there. And it's a lot of land. Now, if that's all supposed to be significantly behind the curve, you might get the tippy toppies of the odd mountain or hill here and there. But we're seeing a lot of land. And none of it is supported by this curvature nonsense. The only way it can be explained is that the Earth is flat. And if the Earth is flat, that there's some kind of optical, refractive thing going on the horizon that makes it what it is. That is the only logical and reasonable explanation for it. So for those in chat, like Paul Voigt specifically, that think that the land should be there and is perfectly explained, well, I've asked Paul Voigt for evidence that supports his assertion that a council worker has claimed it's 30 meters. He hasn't produced that evidence, and I'm asking him for the evidence again, and we'll do it live, Paul. Send us the email that you claim that you've got from the council, and we'll ring him right now. No email. Isn't that funny, Paul? I'm the one that's being called dishonest, yet you're the one that claims to have evidence that you won't reveal, and there's no reason for why you wouldn't do it, because it supports your assertion that I'm being dishonest. So why would you not reveal that, Paul? Is it because you haven't got it at all and you just made shit up? Sounds like it to me. Oh, and the Ordnance Survey map, Paul? It's based on a flat plane. That's our map, not yours. Scott Beach, I've gotten so mixed up. I think they see stuff from 35 feet. What's the height they claim the composite was taken from? Scott Beach, the video shows at 35 feet alongside the caravans, we see land that should not be there. It's massive. It's gone behind the curve of the Earth. The composite was taken from 52 feet, and that was used to try and establish what we could see. But it didn't change that at 35 feet, we could still see land that shouldn't be there. Now, obviously, a ball earther is going to go with the higher elevation and say it supports his model completely. But as a flat earther, I want to see how high, or rather how low, that we can go before that land drops behind the apparent curvature, which in our case would be the refraction layer. But on your case, it would be the obstruction on the horizon that you claim is curvature. So we went down lower to see what we could see. And basically, when I got to 35 feet, we could see stuff. That's a problem. It didn't drop. There was no curvature.
Yeah, they want to fix you at the beach. This is what they want all flat earthers to do. You've got Jesse Kozlowski going out and doing his observations from 300 feet plus. And then you've got the flat earthers literally with their tripods in the water. And it's like, why? It's cutting off a lot of what you can see. This is a demonstration that Ranty's going to put together, hopefully, with one of his videos. And he does exactly what Anthony's described. It's like, what's the elevation? Well, they're on a hill. And you can take various different observations from various different elevations and see what you see. And Ranty's done that with a boat. It's probably about 6 or 7 miles off the shore. And you can see all of it from the 55 feet observation. And as you get down to the shore, you have the bottom cut off it. And it's optics that's doing this. It's not curvature. You know, there's a variable occurring. That variable is not curvature. It's the elevation that he takes the pictures from. So he'll put together a demonstration and show this. You guys think it's curvature, and it's nonsense.
Yeah, you can't prove that it's curvature, but we can prove that there is some optical effect going on that we call reflection or refraction or whatever it is. That's the cause of what we see, which is the atmospheric or the obstruction. Well, you guys claim that that obstruction is curvature, yet you can't prove that it is curvature. You just describe it as curvature, yet you dismiss and refuse to acknowledge that the blurry, the mess that is on that horizon is clearly optical and it isn't curvature. Anyway, Paul, you don't need the email to ring the council. Ring them on your own accord. Oh, yeah, right. So I ring the council and I ask for a guy that I don't even know exists, right? And I say, have you sent an email to a guy in Australia called Paul Voigt that he won't give me a copy of, so I can't tell you when or what time? I don't think so, Paul. Produce the email, and then I'll ring them, and then we'll do it live. But you're the one that's claiming that I'm dishonest. And I'm calling you, Paul, on your evidence that you claim that you've got, which is an email from somebody in the council, and I'd like to see that email, and I'll ring him live. I don't know how much more I can put you on the spot, Paul. I'm calling you a liar, and I'm calling you for lying about evidence. You claim you've got evidence, and I'm asking to see it. And I've asked 3 times at least. You haven't done it any time, and there's no reason for you not to. Let's test your claim that I'm being dishonest. Let's test your claim that you've got evidence that supports 30 meters. So I'm calling it BS, Paul, because you're a liar, you're dishonest, and you're pushing a narrative that you know is nonsense. The physicist that you are. Flat fish.
Right, Anthony, how you doing?
Hi, Ali. Doing good, mate.
Hi.
Just looking at these nonsense.
Good morning.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, there's Ali.
Hi, Ali.
Hi, Alan. How you doing, mate? How's it in
Not too
Leeds?
It's not too bad. It's a bit overcast, grey as usual.
Yeah, but we're same in Denmark, mate. Same in Denmark.
Anthony, do you not find it ironic that you're demanding evidence and contacts and information while not releasing your own?
No, I find it crazy that you guys don't understand whose assertions are what here. It seems to have been lost in the communication. The assertion is that we live on a ball. Your working model has been tested, and it doesn't appear to comply with what we see. So I've tested that, I've produced evidence and supported it with proof. However, you guys asserted that there is a variation at 30 meters variance in height. I went back and tested it, and I'm more than happy to reassert my position without any evidence because it's your assertion. So I'm not keeping hold of my evidence. I'm reasserting my position.
Sorry, just one small correction. It's not without evidence. Your assertion is the Google height is stated as. That's your assertion. Google states the height as follows. That's the assertion. If you guys want to go out and disprove what Google claims...
Nathan.
It's all right,
Google also
Alan.
asserts that...
It's all right, Alan. I hadn't quite finished my sentence. So if you guys want to go out and debunk what Google states as the elevation and prove Google wrong, you're welcome to. However, holding Anthony up as though it's his claim is incorrect. It's not his claim. It's Google's claim. That's what's being tested. If you guys want to test the elevations on Google and disprove them, be our guest.
I'm not using Google. I'm using the Ordnance Survey maps.
Oh, right. You're using a map that uses a flattening factor to be produced. One that's come from a system that applies a, quote, flattening factor. That's what you want to use.
You love the word flattening.
Well, that's a word that's used by the WGS84 when they pick their single point from that surveying system and then survey out using level transits when they observe a flat plane. That's what they do. Fact. So if you want to use Ordnance Survey maps that are produced by people who survey a flat plane and is referenced from a system that applies a flattening factor, then you're welcome to. We did use them.
I'm going to call this period of time going forward the flattening. Should we make a film?
I think it's already been done by Infinite Plane Society. You're a bit late on that one, I'm afraid. He's already coined that term.
Oh, well, I'm in Leeds. Time goes slow.
Or backwards in your case.
Don't be rude, Anthony.
Would you agree with me,
I
Alan?
didn't call you fat, did I?
Alan, would you agree with me that if you were to claim...
No, I would never agree with you on anything. You're always wrong. No.
That's the best you can do,
That's
Alan.
not very mature. That's not very mature interaction now for a man of your age, is it not?
It did make me smile, though, Ali.
Well, that's okay. All right, that's fine. Because it's all subjective, isn't it?
Laughing at your own jokes is a condition, though, right?
Makes a change from laughing at you.
Yeah, we've all got to laugh at ourselves now and again. Eh? We shouldn't take ourselves too serious, right?
That's correct, Ali.
There you go. That's the way the world should work, I think. More, yeah. We shouldn't take things so serious.
Let me just pick Paul Voigt up again in comments. He says, we have asserted that Google is wrong.
Hi, I'm a moron. How you doing? Can you say hello?
That always makes me laugh.
Can you say hello?
Say it again, Nathan. Even Eleanor's laughing.
Paul Voigt says that we have asserted that Google is wrong. Why are you still using it? Ordnance Survey is not produced by using a flattening factor. This is where you lot are being dishonest. I think Paul might forget the whole conversation that we had with Paul about the word reduced, because Paul struggled with the word reduced so much so that he said that it didn't mean what it normally means in this context, because we were discussing about whether or not Ordnance Survey was a flat map or not, because Nathan innocently had asked, was it based on a globe or was it based on flat? And when we looked it up, they used the word reduced. And Paul took issue with the word reduced, saying that it didn't mean what he said it meant in this context. Paul wanted to change the meaning of that word because it is a flat map, Paul. Ordnance Survey is our map. That's not your map, that's our map. Your map is a Google.
I'd like to see where the Ordnance Survey references the curvature. Please, can you find me some evidence of this?
I can find you evidence where it's not, Nath. Would you like some evidence where they flatten it out?
Yeah, that's all I found. Evidence of them flattening out a hypothetical geoid so that they could use it in reference to the flat plane that they actually survey. How you doing, Bruising Baller? Can you say something?
Good evening.
Good
Don't
evening.
ban me, Oakley. I know you get upset.
I know
Riley,
who you are.
a question. When you threw the tape down the cliff of 66 feet and you were short, how short were you?
And that wasn't the facts. I think you appear to be
You
mistaken.
said, no. Listen, you said when you threw a 66-foot tape down the cliff, you were short.
That's not what he
So at
said. He said the
very least,
66 feet tape measure
plus
wasn't
your
long
height.
enough
No,
to measure the
66
higher
feet plus your
elevation.
height is 72.
No,
Plus
that's
the remainder left is
factually
maybe
incorrect.
another 10, 15 feet. Plus
Okay.
the
No,
low
that's
tide.
Incorrect.
So
No, listen.
you are a liar. And also, Google Earth says 35 feet. So you have proved the point when we have said that Google Earth is wrong. You've just proved it.
No, you've misquoted me.
It's
or
okay.
misrepresented me.
No, I have
Are you
not. Everybody
okay?
heard you say it. Everybody heard you say it. Now you're backtracking.
Sorry, are you okay?
You are a lying
Are you
toad.
okay?
Could you clarify what it was that you think I said, please?
Bruiser, you should ask Nathan how he converts meters into kilometers.
Bruising
And
Baller,
the
could you
correct- and the
clarify
correct way to
what you
divide.
think I said, please?
Do you know how to do it, Nathan?
We're waiting for Al K. Is it Al K? Is that who you are?
That's bruising.
Well, he asked me not to ban him, and the only person I've even suggested I would ban on site is probably Al K. So, is it Al K? Seems to have gone very quiet.
It doesn't sound like him.
All right, so it doesn't sound like him. Oh well, I guess you don't sound like Jeff, but anyway. So let me just clarify, because there are people that misrepresent me intentionally to try and make me look somewhat other than what I am. So I mean, I don't need to be misrepresented to be somewhat other than I am. I can do it all by myself. Nathan sent me up a 66 feet tape. We threw it down, and I had tape left over. It was not short. The tape had left tape in it. So it was no more than 66 feet. That means it was a figure that was less than 66 feet.
Tell us the figure.
No, go and get it. Go and get the figure yourself. It's your assertion to make. Go and get it yourself.
The assertion, Alan, is that Google, the values we have used, not Anthony Riley's tape measure values, the values given on Google. Your assertion is that that's incorrect, that Google is incorrect. So go prove Google's incorrect.
Be a good scientist and share the evidence.
The measurements, hold on, Alan, the measurements we will use in time. They will be useful for our purposes. We will present that information. However, we won't be presenting it to back up your assertions that Google is incorrect. No. When we use them, they'll be used independently of Google, and we won't be referencing Google for the heights. We'll use the measurements. That will happen in time.
Oh well, I could be Jeff, I could be Timothy Osman, I could be Mark Taylor.
No one cares who you are. No one was asking that. We were pointing out that the measurements are not being used to reassert Google's claim of the elevation. That's Google's claim. If you want to disprove that claim that Google make, you're welcome to. You understand?
It's not my model though, I'm not using it, I'm using the Ordnance Survey map. They're
The
more
one that
accurate.
has a flattening factor. The one that's using flat maps. The one that literally has no account on the map for any curvature. That map. Is that what you want to
Hang on,
use?
Nathan. Can I just call you on that, Nathan? I wouldn't want you to misquote what it says. It doesn't say flattening. It says reduced.
Correct.
The WGS84 has a flattening factor.
No, reduced. It's reduced down to the level. What is it? The something level plane. It says. Just be precise with your words, because
Well, I've read through the information sent to me by Chris about the WGS84. It was about 35 pages long. I read all of it. There is a flattening factor applied to the WGS84. I am factually accurate in that statement. There is Nathan, flattening factor applied to the WGS84. Fact. Feel free to disprove that with evidence. I will simply go to the document that it goes alongside the WGS84 and show you the words, in quotes, flattening factor, with the maths that goes along with it.
Nathan, question. You ready? How do you convert meters into kilometers?
I don't know. How do you convert meters into kilometers?
What's the correct way?
You tell me.
The correct way is divide meters by 1,000. You didn't do that.
So if you have a meter and I divide that meter by 1,000, you don't think that would give you millimeters?
Meters into kilometers, Nathan.
You just said you divide meters by 1,000 to get kilometers. So you're saying I divide something that is 1 meter long by 1,000, and that will come out to a kilometer value.
Nathan,
it sounds like you are quite literally retarded with that statement. You do not divide meters to come out with kilometers.
Why did Chris Monk multiply meters by 10,000 when he should have divided them by 1,000?
Sorry, did you just do it again? Did you just say that you divide a number that is in meters to come up with a value in kilometers? Is that what you are now asserting for a second time?
Why did Chris Monk multiply meters by 10,000 when he should have divided by 1,000?
Why would you divide a value that is given in meters to come up with something larger, i.e. kilo, meaning thousandth?
Because the thing you don't understand is that it's a ratio. Did you do maths at school?
Yeah, I'll ask you a third time. Why would you divide a meter value when trying to come up with a larger value? Dividing something makes it smaller.
Oh dear. There's no
oh dear? Sorry, what do you mean, oh dear? That's not an answer. Why would you divide something to make it bigger?
I've already explained. Are you not listening?
Haven't. Oh, I still am yet to get an answer. We have a value in meters. You're saying I divide that value to make it larger into kilometers, a larger number.
It depends on the value, Nathan. If it's less than 1, if you divide a number that would be less than 1, like 0.6, that will give you an increase.
Oh, why'd you give him the answer? I was hoping that Alan would eventually get there or not get there, as the case may be.
I'm already there. Why
didn't you say it then, Alan?
Dig a rather large hole. Perhaps you could dig a large hole, divide that by 1,000 and then jump in.
Right, the question that you're asking, Alan, is aimed at Chris Monk, who isn't in the panel, and I don't know what you're even asking him, what your point is. If you think that Chris Monk's done an issue that might be wrong, then why don't you email him, and I'm sure he'll give you an answer. Have you considered emailing him? Or did you just think that Nathan would know whatever it is, whatever nonsense that you're spewing? What was that? Yeah, I thought so.
I think the pennies dropped. I thought if you wanted to find out how many meters were in a kilometre, you divide it by 1,000. But if you convert meters into kilometres, you must multiply.
I'm not even sure why he's made it an issue. If he thinks that Chris Monk's done something wrong, why is he asking Nathan for why Chris has done something wrong?
Well, because there's actually a rumour going about the internet about Nathan that in a previous life he was actually a gypsy fortune teller, used to trade around all the fairs all around England and that, telling fortunes and reading people's minds. Maybe Alan bought into that conspiracy, I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of.
Is that really a rumour going around about me that I used to be a gypsy fortune teller?
Well, that was a joke, Nathan.
No, of course.
That's awesome.
He's made it up. It's a joke, Nathan.
That was a joke, Nathan, just to make how absurd.
What an idiot.
Alan B. How absurd Alan B's statement was. How the hell would you know what Chris thinks unless you were a mind reader?
Well, all I did, Ali, was watch the video where he did the maths wrong. and then
Yeah,
giggled quite a bit.
Yeah, but
because yeah, exactly, and your logical conclusion from that is because Chris made a mistake with the maths, the Earth is now a ball. I don't get the logical jump. I couldn't argue for that one, and I'm good at arguing. So I don't know. Your logic's a bit flawed.
No, it's not. He just did the maths wrong. He doesn't understand it.
All right. So you're admitting that doesn't mean the Earth. That means that you don't. That doesn't prove that the Earth is not a ball. Oh, there's Miles.
Miles Davis, how you doing, Miles Davis? Good to have you. Can you hear us? Hello?
Oops. My bad. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, you've got to speak a bit quicker, I'm afraid, Miles.
Well, I counted to. I give it a very slow 5 seconds, and then.
I don't think that was
Miles. Sorry.
Miles
I apologise for that.
I don't think that was Miles, because Miles owes Ranty a very public apology for calling him a liar on a mistake of fact that he made, that spent video after video. I think he did 2 videos calling him a liar, and all this nonsense when Ranty was actually in the correct. And I don't think Miles won't come on because he's a coward. I don't think that was him. I think you probably did a perfect job at getting rid of that person then, because it was probably a good thing. Anyway, Alan, even if you think that Chris Monk did some mistakes in the maths, my query would be, why are you asking Nathan about what you claim is his mistakes? Why don't you ask him yourself?
How can I ask Chris? He's not here.
Well, why would you ask Nathan when he didn't do the maths?
Because I see Nathan as the overlord of all this. He seems to have bought into you and Ranty and Chris, and has ruined his show and his reputation. So
what's that got to do with the maths, though? If you think Chris has made a mistake on the maths,
the maths is wrong.
In what way is it wrong?
I've already explained this.
No, you haven't. They haven't.
Right. So I don't know the value that you say that he used. Why don't you go and ask Chris? I mean, he's an approachable guy. I'm sure he'll give you a comprehensive answer, demonstration, and illustration for why that figure was there.
Riley, why don't you find a calculator and do the conversion yourself? Convert 0.003 meters into kilometers and see what the answer is.
0.003 meters.
Yeah, it's into kilometers. See what the answer is.
0.003 meters.
0.0033 meters into kilometers.
0.0.
Zero. Ali, don't confuse them. Crikey.
You said 2 zeros. You confused me, and I was trying to sort it out there. So it's 0.003. Yeah.
0.0033 meters to kilometers. Have a look at what the answer is.
That'll be 3 cents, right? Into kilometers.
Well, just move it 3 places to the left.
Yeah, it's going to be
multiplying it by 1,000. Move it 3 places to the left, and you got your answer.
It's going to have like 5 or 6 zeros to it. It's going to be a negligible number.
Yeah, but just move it 3. No,
you love that word, negligible.
Oh yeah, it's really.
Anthony, just move the sum 3 places to the left towards the dot, because it's 1,000, which is 3 zeros. Just move it that number to the left up to the point, and that'll give you the answer in meters. You're just moving the sum left.
In any event, my point is, why is Nathan being asked for what he claims is a mistake on Chris's part? That'll be
because
like asking
they've got nothing else, Anthony. They've got nothing else, so they have to ask stupid questions and stupid things.
It's not
just
a
the nature
question.
of the beast. It is a stupid question. Why are you asking someone what another person thinks?
Because
why would you ask that? What do you think he thinks?
Ali,
I don't know what he thinks.
They made a video with all the maths in. They clearly stated they're building a new model of what the new world looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And it's they're just apart from St. Bees, just apart from St. Bees to the Isle of Man and the surrounding angle of observation. will come back. That's the model. That's what the model is going to be relevant to, right? So that bit will be flat. If it comes back flat, we can accept that's flat. Now we've got to find when it starts to hump, right?
Is that understood, Alan?
That's
So
your problem.
the model will be of a model of the observation made from some bees, the model we've been discussing for the number of hours that you keep calculating. Well, the model
122.
Right.
A lot of square miles there, Nathan. A lot of square miles of flatness there, Nathan. On water, not over land, on water that always finds its own level. There will be very many square miles of observable flat water. Which goes a little bit of a way.
Ali, are you in
which goes, and that's, it just goes that little bit away. That's all it has to come back is flat, and we can put a stamp on that. It's flat, end of story. So your, as Nathan says, your funny refraction sums and your error margins and all that crap is just going, that was just put in there to explain something they couldn't accept. The world was flat, so they thought, all right, how are we going to say that that rises? And it's funny how all the proofs of this curve, they're ambiguous numbers, and they're mixing temperature, which is measured in what is it, joules or energies in joules or whatever it is regarded in heat, and then they're bringing in pressure, which is in pascals, and then you're going to bring optics. What a very easy way, or a very easy solution to describe something that, if you believe the world is is a ball, if you believe that's what they've used, they used the mathematics because they believed it was a ball and they couldn't accept it was flat. So they said, we are seeing this because of this, that, oh, it's the weather, it's refraction. It can't possibly be flat.
So can I ask a question?
Just my opinion.
To all the panel, is the guy who doesn't know how to convert meters to kilometers creating the new model of the world?
Look, okay, right. Using that logic, then what was his name? Isaac Newton. Because
the reason I'm asking that, the guy that built
Isaac Newton. I'm going to correlate it.
Whoa! The guy that is building the model also.
This is the exact same question. I'm pointing out how absurd. I'm pointing out how absurd that question was.
Why?
That's like because right, okay. Isaac Newton.
Ali, right? Give me 5 minutes.
He believed. Listen, he believed in esoteric and all that, and they practiced alchemy and believed in esoteric spirits and all that kind of stuff. So you're telling me that we should listen to a guy that believed in spirits and all this, to a guy that gets us some wrong and is a qualified engineer?
Let me ask the question again. He's not a qualified engineer.
He's never talked about hairy-fairy spirits like you're talking about.
He's a welder. Let
right,
me ask
exactly.
the
He's
question
a welder. What about it?
Let me ask the question again.
And he's qualified as a welder. He's a qualified inspector of welding. Go check out the qualifications you need to do that. You don't come out of college and become that. The guy's a highly qualified person in his field. You get it? Understand?
Nathan.
The guy's an engineer.
Nathan. Is the guy who can't convert meters to kilometers creating the new model? And is that guy also the same guy that convinced you could see Ireland?
He's built huge things, worked on mining projects. He's built things, physically built things. So in order to build those things, he would have modelled those things also in his professional career. You understand that, right? That's what he did.
But you're also trusting a guy who can't convert meters to kilometers.
Yeah, people trusted him with their lives when they were down mines. Hold on, Alan, do you understand what I've just said? People were trusting him with their lives. Do you understand that? When he was doing mining projects, people literally took his information and trusted his information with their lives. Do you get that?
More fool them. He convinced you could see Ireland.
That's one way of looking at it, Alan. The other way of looking at it is that your straw man is ridiculous.
Well, that's not off the cards yet. That's not off the table yet, Alan. It might just suddenly be part of Ireland we're seeing. It's not like confirmed, but we're going to find out.
Hey,
How you doing,
Jazzaconda's
Jazzaconda?
here.
Good to have
He's
you.
been
Can you
drinking.
hear us? Don't kick him just yet. Give him a second. Can you hear us, Jazz? Say something. Jazzaconda. Can you say something for us?
Yeah, g'day and hi, g'day and hi, how are you?
Ah, we hear you. Brilliant, brilliant. Good. I was just about to kick you. I'll turn you up a bit. Good to have you here. Thanks for being here.
I'll just keep quiet, but carry on.
How's the humble pie, Nathan?
Yeah, it's good. How you doing, Jamie Woodstock? Can you hear us?
Some sunny day.
Good to have you here.
Yes, yes I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good to have you.
Ah, yes. Thank you. I'm going to be silent too now. But I won't be sniping. None of that bullshit. I just want to say, people motherfucking stop sniping shit.
Language.
Please don't
Yeah,
swear.
cool. And I just want to be here. I haven't, I've been keeping up with you, Nathan, but I've missed all the good guests that you've had, you know what I mean? And I just want to say, I just want to defend all the old guests, you know what I mean? Because I don't like, it has, you know, I've been watching this show, Nathan, I loved it so much, you know, up until a little bit. I don't want to be a wanker or anything, but, and I'm not a troll or anything, this is my honest opinion. You have been a bit, you know, dismissive to a lot of people, and a bit mean, you know, putting it in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. I think if we cut that kind of stuff down and give people a go, maybe, yeah. Let's get down to the bottom of this stuff, you know. Anyway, continue the conversation, guys.
I'd love to know what you think I've dismissed unfairly.
Let me just respond to Miles because I can't be bothered typing anymore to him. Miles the Liar Davis is questioning what was the position with the tape when me and Ranty chucked it down the hill to measure the, or to see if there was any evidence to support the assertion by the ballers that Google Earth can be up to 30 meters wrong either way. So we went up to the second caravan, we chucked the tape down. The tape had a maximum distance of, a measured maximum distance of 66 feet. It didn't max out. So the hypotenuse that we were measuring to do the trig on was less than 66 feet. So that tells you that the rest of the triangle, if it's less than 66 feet, the rest of the triangle is not going to be anything like 110 feet or whatever nonsense figure you want to put into it. So Google Earth isn't as crazily inaccurate. What about the high cliff? We haven't done the high cliff, Miles. I'm referring to the low cliff, which is where the video showing the land that is in the north of the island that shouldn't be there because it should be behind the curve of the Earth is. I don't care about the high cliff. I could do the high cliff, but I don't know what benefit it would achieve when I'm citing the low cliff as the one that I'm relying on. We see land in that low cliff picture, the low cliff video, and it shouldn't be there. So I don't care what height the high cliff is. We use the high cliff to try and identify and help us with what we were looking at. But the video that was presented, and that I'm relying on, was taken at 35 feet. And if you're so accurate, so adamant that your observation heights must be accurate, why did you claim 40 feet for a measured height of 29 feet for a place where you took some of your observations from? You claimed that you were at 40 feet, and I don't know where you got that figure from. I guess you plucked it from thin air, because when me and Ranty measured it, it measured in at 29 feet above water. It was when you were at high tide and you were stood on the concrete block thing in the triangle car park. We measured that height, Miles, and you put 40 feet. Nonsense, Miles. You lied. You were not at 40 feet. I don't know where you got that value from. I don't know if you guessed it, whether you just plucked it out of a straw hat and just pulled the straw out and that's what it said. But we measured it and it was 29 feet. So let's round it up to 30. You were 25% out. Why is that, Miles? You weren't at 40 feet. You were at 29, measured 29. So Oh, right, you said it was an estimate, but earlier on, Miles, quoting your exact words, Miles, just give me a sec while I find his citation. He said, "You must be You must be really accurate with your observer height. So why would you be estimating 40 feet? I mean, that's not accurate, is it, Miles? It's not accurate at all.
You're telling me he's been there and gone and got some estimates? Wow.
Riley, on the visit yesterday, did you take the air temperature, water temperature, and air pressure readings?
Would estimates
no,
be
we could measure
acceptable, Alan?
refraction.
What about estimates of them? Would they be acceptable? Estimates?
Well, it's better than nothing.
Well,
Did you take readings, Riley? Air pressure, water temperature?
No,
air
because
temperature?
standard refraction is based on 7/6 of the radius of the Earth. So on standard refraction calculations, you don't need to know any of that. Why would you be citing that? That's not what your model says.
That's standard.
No, it's not. 7/6
The
hours.
conditions may not have been standard, Anthony. Do you understand that?
Yeah, but
So let me get this straight, Alan. Sorry, Sleeping Warrior. You want Anthony to provide data so that you can make an assertion that the atmospheric conditions weren't conducive of the observation. You want him to provide that data for you.
Standard scientific practice.
Right, I just want to read Miles Davis's comment further up in chat. It's halfway up the chat. It says, Macol Lighthouse is very interesting, but observer height is crucial. I need to know what the height was. And then further down, most recently, Miles has just said it was an estimate. So if observer height is crucial, Miles, why would you be estimating and then being wildly out with your estimation if it's so crucial? Seems to be a paradox to me, Miles. Where's your apology to Ranty as well? And okay, you're as bad. Where's your evidence? So come on, where's the evidence? Just showing the video panning across to the floaty land.
Miles the liar Davis lives up to his name, tells the audience in the chat, you can rewind the video, that it's really important to get accurate measurements, and then later confesses that he's releasing estimates when he's actually been to the location. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'll read it again. It says, Miles Davis, Macol Lighthouse. It's just Scooby-Doo says 666 ice creams. It's just below that comment. Macol Lighthouse is very interesting, but observer height is crucial. I need to know what the height was. And then he flip-flops, just like he did with Ranty and Bibby Wave Master 1, which he was wrong about. And then he flip-flopped into the opposing position, which saying that he never said that. And he clearly did because he's flip-flopped. He's now flip-flopped again, saying, well, I estimated it. Well, that's nonsense, Miles, because when we went there to recreate your nonsense observation, because I've been there, Miles, and I looked at your thing and I thought, 40 feet, what have you measured that with? And I'm thinking, even if you were to guesstimate, you'd have to be wildly inaccurate. I'd love to know what you estimate the size of your phallus would be, because it would be clearly a lot bigger than what it actually was. The reality is, Miles, 40 feet is nonsense. That was an estimation based on a bias. You're a biased liar. That's literally what you are, Miles. I don't even know why you're in here.
Okay, alright. You got to step in there. Like, everything was fine then, but then that last little few seconds didn't have to say right. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
No, I do have to say it because Miles is a liar.
No, you don't. No, because you're like you're asserting a million things in one sentence. You're accusing a million different arguments. You're coming up with so many arguments in one sentence. Yeah. And there's no rebuttal, you know what I mean? So you just have the final say and the only say. So
isn't it funny now that Miles claims that he's happy to accept my measurements, but he's not happy to accept the evidence? But he is.
I'm telling you,
nobody would accept my measurements.
I understand that. I totally understand that. But listen, like, let's just the last few seconds of that we have to understand, okay? You know, the insults have to stop, honestly. Because it's just annoying to listen to. I nearly stopped listening to it.
No, listen.
And I wanted all these other guys to come back. Like I miss them. Like, you know, I think it was like episode 80, I got to speak to them again, and that was it. You know what I mean? I actually miss them. But I kept on listening to you, Nathan.
People are lying.
You know?
Dude,
I've listened. This is just my opinion, man. Like, and I honestly think if you guys hold back on the insults and bullshit like that, you might get people back. I'm not too sure.
They say that I say things that I haven't said. They say that I am changing my position, and I'm not. They say that I put things in different contexts to what they were actually said. That isn't fair. We're here for 2 hours every day, and I stand here and I reassert my position every time. Right. Don't want to come in and do it to my face. They're claiming a protest because they can't get around the fact that that lighthouse should not be seen.
Can we just hear Alan B speak for a second?
Riley, what else?
He hasn't got anything good to add.
Riley, I suggest you go back, take the air temperature, take the water temperature, and the air pressure readings, because then we can rule out non-standard refraction.
We're not interested in
use your
non-standard
excuse,
refraction.
we
Non-standard
see much
refraction is
all the
your
That makes
band-aid
sense.
theory,
No, that
Alan.
makes sense, actually.
Your
How about we go with
band-aid
that? Let's
theory.
try that
Hold on a
first.
second,
No.
Jamie. I want to address
No.
that. This is
I'm
your
taking
band-aid
a proper
theory
scientific
for the
approach.
geometric
Go
impossibility
back,
of seeing
take
the
the air
lighthouse.
temperature,
Sorry, can I
take the
just
water
explain this to
temperature,
you?
take the air
You want
pressure
these.
reading,
You
and
need
then
this
we can rule out
information.
non-standard refraction.
Non-standard refraction is a band-aid theory for the geometric
No, it's
impossibility
not.
of seeing the lighthouse. On your sphere, the lighthouse isn't there. It's a geometric impossibility seeing that lighthouse. It is not there. So you guys need to prove non-standard refraction, and you want us, who do not use this as a band-aid theory, we don't need it, to go and prove the air temperature so you can prove that you've got a hologram there. No. You go and prove the air temperature is conducive to
I
holographic
demand
reflections. You
Anthony
do that.
Riley goes
That's
back,
your band-aid
takes the air
theory for a crap
water
model that
temperature,
fails, Alan. Your model fails to represent
demand-
what is there. Your model says it shouldn't be there. Geometrically, it isn't there. And now you're saying, well, go and prove the air temperature can bring it back with non-standard refraction. No, screw you. You go and prove that the air temperature can bring things back that are geometrically impossible to see on a sphere. It is not there, Alan. Do you understand that? I had this semantical conversation yesterday with Tim Osman, and we got down to
semantical,
defining
it's
the word
mathematical.
there.
It's data.
It is not there on your model, Alan. You need slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena as a band-aid theory for the fact that your model says it's not there. That's a
It's
fact.
provable. There are
Jesus, this is a
videos.
terrible way of doing things, this Hangout thing. It's a terrible app.
Excuse
Terrible
me,
system,
Jamie,
yeah.
what's your problem now?
Oh, I don't have any problem. I just love the show.
Oh, thank you. That's
And
very
I
nice
want
of
to
you
keep
to
it
say so.
alive, you know what I mean?
So, Alan,
some
do you
interesting
understand
guests on
that the
here.
lighthouse
That's about it.
isn't there in your model? Do you understand that or not?
Well, I don't have the air temperature readings, the water temperature readings.
Nathan, with
Don't need those
respect, sorry,
things to
Alan, I
understand
have
where
so much
something
respect for
appears
you, Alan, mate.
mathematically,
I'm sorry.
geometrically on a
Can I just
sphere.
ask Nathan a question,
Mathematically,
please?
you don't
Out of
need to
respect.
know any of those things. You stop talking over me, Jamie.
Well,
You've just said you don't have any
You
issues
can't
and you love
rule
the
out.
show.
You can't say we see too much then, because you
wait.
can't rule out non-standard refraction.
I can tell you that geometrically that lighthouse is not there on a
You
sphere.
can't tell me anything. You've not been
I can
there.
tell you it's a
You haven't
fact.
seen it.
You don't have to accept it. You can deny it like Tim Osman. I don't care. But your band-aid theory with slightly looming non-standard refraction is exactly that. A band-aid for the fact that the lighthouse is
Another call
geometrically
to the
impossible to
depths.
see on a sphere 24,900 miles in circumference. It is not
Why would you-
there.
and
Do you
why?
get it, Alan? It's not there.
But it
Nathan,
is.
This is what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
it is
Like,
there.
see-
We see it, but
do
you need
understand
to
your
explain
voice
why with a
right now
band-aid theory
and the
of
way you're
refraction.
speaking to
Because
people?
geometrically, it's not
You're being
there. We
insane,
can't
yeah.
actually see it. The fact that we do
Jamie,
need an explanation.
Jamie is a lost
Your
code.
explanation being holograms. It's a representation of something that is not physically there. We cannot see it.
Did you
We
say
don't have
I was
line
a
of
lost
sight
code?
with it. Why do I keep getting talked over?
Hi, Jamie. You seem like a nice boy.
But hey, Alan B, you seem like a very nice person too.
Fascinating
very much.
conversation. Lovely small talk. Now we'll get back to my point, Jamie, if you can shut your mouth long enough. Do you understand, Alan? Do you understand,
Can I
Alan,
just have
that
one
it's a
little point in
geometric
your show,
certainty
please?
you can't
I
see that
respect it. I
lighthouse?
love your
Do you
show.
understand that?
Well, because you don't have the
think-
correct data.
And I think you're backed into a corner at the moment, Nathan,
Yeah.
and you realise your attitude is...
Shut your mouth. Get out of my
divisive.
hangout, you stupid idiot. Do you understand
Hello?
that it's a geometric certainty that that lighthouse isn't there, Alan? Yes or no?
Well, we can see it, yes.
I understand that we can see it. Do you understand, I'll ask it again, that it is a geometric certainty that it is not there on your sphere model?
It's refraction. We can't see all of it.
No, you can't see it at all. It is not there. Why are you having so much trouble accepting this fact?
Oh, Flat Earth Destroyed's joined.
Temper, temper, Oakley. You're getting very annoyed.
Alkay
Very
again.
telling.
So, Alan, are you going to accept the fact that it
No.
is not there?
No, I don't accept anything from you. I demand the data.
Well, that's
And the
brilliant.
other-
So you, like Tim Osman, are a denier of your own model.
As I've already explained. Google isn't my model. I'm using the Ordnance Survey.
I'm not talking
maps in
about
this
Google.
instance.
Again, you did this last time we had this conversation. The words Google didn't leave my lips. Your model of a sphere Earth, 24,900 miles in circumference, dictates geometrically that that lighthouse is not there. It is physically not possible to see it on a 24,000 mile, 900 mile in circumference sphere. That's a fact.
Except if non-standard refraction isn't there and the refraction is greater.
Non-standard refraction.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning non-standard refraction. I'm talking about a model of a sphere. That's a band-aid to account for why we can't see it. You don't need non-standard refraction if you can see it. You only need it if you can't see it.
Well, I don't even believe you think the Earth is flat. I think you just like arguing.
So do you understand it or not? Do you understand that it's not there? Do you understand that the reason you keep explaining about refraction is because it's necessitated by the fact it isn't there?
It's a smudge.
You're being an idiot. You are literally retarded.
Hang on. It might be a smudge, but Jeremy noticed it. So if you don't agree with Jeremy's identification of Mako Lighthouse, take it up with him.
So let's get another answer. Do you accept that on your model, that lighthouse is geometrically impossible to see? Do you accept that, Alan? That's a fact.
Nope.
Well, then you are a denier. You want to live on a sphere, but you deny the metrics, you deny the geometry. You are a denier. Pathetic. A worm. Like Tim Osman. Feel free to deny the model. It is a fact. That lighthouse is not there.
It is.
Can I just interject real quick?
Hey, Judge, you been drinking?
Oh, I've had a couple, but I just want to talk about the height of the clouds, the cumulus clouds above the image.
Go ahead. I'm interested.
I'm guessing, looking at them, I would estimate them to be between 5,500 and 7,500 feet straight ahead, just left of the sun. Cumulus. But if you look down to the bottom left of the image, they're way down on the horizon. Does that mean that fog is descending down on a landmass over there?
No, they're closer to the vanishing point. That's perspective.
No, it's Nathan, it's not perspective.
Shit.
It's not perspective. Have you seen a chemtrail going over the horizon and you can clearly see it curve? You can clearly find that aircraft on flight radar 24 or whatever it is, and see if it's curving from the left, curving up and going down to your right. It's going to be ascending and then descending. It's at flight level 3.4 or 3.5 or 3.8 or whatever it's doing at strain level. Just saying.
So that's lovely. What does that prove? What are you trying to say?
Well, if the Earth's flat and an aeroplane is climbing and then descending, just think about that for a second.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and planes can indeed climb and descend on a flat plane.
They can indeed,
Yes,
but
they
what
can.
does that mean?
It means they can climb and descend on a flat plane.
They can climb and descend on a flat plane, but what does that do to their range?
Their range? Well, that would depend how much fuel they've got.
No, that doesn't. That doesn't.
Okay, well, you show me the self-energy making plane that can run without fuel, and then we'll debate how much range that particular plane has. But the chemtrail planes that I see have got engines on them that require fuel, and that dictates their range, as far as I'm aware.
Exactly, Nathan. So you're in the UK somewhere, so you can see a chemtrail plane take off out of Dublin, so, and then fly all the way over to Greenland. you can see 300-400
No, you can't see
miles
that.
of that trip.
You can't see that. That's far too far. Your vision would not let you do that at all. That's nonsense. No, you can't see a plane take off from Belfast and travel to Greenland. That's far too big a distance in my field of view. No, you can't do that.
Okay, well, we'll say 100 miles. We'll scale it down to 100 miles.
You can do whatever you like. This is your example.
And that's what I'm saying. Is you can see the curve on the horizon because airplanes do account for pitch. It's called trim. We trim for pitch.
Is that the end of your example?
No, it's not the end of my example because the other example is right here on the screen. You've got the clouds at the same height, and by barometric pressure, the clouds right above this sun could be 1,000 feet lower in the left-hand side of this picture due to barometric pressure. But that's how aeroplanes stay straight and level. Aeroplanes don't turn left and right to go around the Earth.
Do you do much flying?
Yes. Yes.
Tell us all about it.
And we pitch.
When have you flown? What do you fly?
When have I flown?
What do you fly?
I'm not a qualified pilot anymore, but I'm
So how much time
I'll
have you spent looking at the trim indicator on an aircraft when flying it? None?
No, you don't look at the trim indicator because you're trimming to stay straight and level. You don't need to look at the trim indicator.
Who is? The pilots that do this? Not you.
If you're in an airliner and if you're in autopilot mode, the altitude hold
who
does
is in
this
autopilot?
for you.
Who? You? Are you putting this plane in autopilot, or are you describing something you've never done?
Nathan, I'm just trying to give you an example of what happens in the real world. In
Really?
general aviation, when you're
Fascinating.
flying along straight and level, you are trimming the aeroplane or the helicopter.
I'm trimming it, am I? Me? You said you're trimming it. I'm trimming the aeroplane, am I? I do this, do I?
Holy snap and duck shit. By me saying you trimming it doesn't mean you.
No, this is your example. You're telling me that I trim an aeroplane, and I'm kind of asking and querying why you would say such a thing.
Okay, Nathan, well, don't take that as a bad way. When I say when you're trimming it, I mean if you're flying with me and I'm teaching you how to fly.
Oh, you're a trainer. Oh, you train people. Wow. What plane do you train people in?
I'm not. Nathan, I'm trying to explain to you.
If I was teaching you how to fly, so if you were training me implying that you can train me how to fly, right? You've got a plane and you can teach people?
No, Nathan, what you're trying to get me to say is that I'm not qualified for training, which I'm not. And now you're going to go, well, you can't teach that, so you're full of shit.
You know what? I can teach you how to wrangle sharks. When you get in the pool with the shark, when you get in the pool with the shark, right, you have to look it square in the eye. I have no fear they can detect it. Just trust me on it. Just trust me, right?
Absolutely.
I can teach you how to wrangle sharks, my friend. I don't have any professional qualifications in it, by the way.
Nathan, what you're doing now is only... I don't even know how to explain it.
What's new?
It's unbelievable.
Yep, it sure is unbelievable.
What's new is that I haven't attacked what you think. I have taken on what you think, and you don't accept it because you already know what you think. And nothing's going to change that. Nothing.
So we are coming up on 1 hour left on this live stream. Hope you're enjoying the debate thus far. If you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these live shows, and a link in the info box once the video has rendered. If you'd like to join the panel, most importantly, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules. Number one, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. If you've not done so already, please also share the show, as this increases the live audience, which in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. As I say, we have approximately 1 hour left on this live stream.
If you fly off, if there was no change in barometric pressure, all right, I'll ask you this now. If the Earth's flat, there's no Coriolis force. Yeah.
No, if the Earth's not rotating, there's no Coriolis force.
Okay, so there's no Coriolis force.
So
there's no change in barometric pressure.
what's that
So
point? Right, it seems to me that you've made a point about the planes following the shut up. Sorry. It seems to me that you've made a point about planes following the curvature that's not really the curvature, it's the barometric pressure variance, and claiming that that somehow is supporting curvature when it's simply supporting barometric pressure, right? It's not kind of relevant.
Well, how would there be a change in barometric pressure if the Earth's flat? And
A long period of silence. Chances are I'll watch all 4 icons now drop from the show. We shall see. Oh, no, my connection was lost. Oh, chicken. Let's sort you out first. Come here. There we go.
They need to prove that that's pointing to the centre of the Earth, which is an assumption. They're saying that's the centre of the Earth in that direction.
That was my point. Nathan, you're echoing, by the way.
Yeah, it's just because I've just rejoined.
No.
I was kicked for some reason.
Riley.
Hang on, we're on a topic.
Okay.
Is there any evidence that supports the assertion that a gyroscope has got a centre of vertical axis that points to the centre of the Earth? Jazz.
no, this.
Bless you.
So it's an assumption that a gyroscope is pointing to the centre of the Earth, right?
Well, no, it's not an assumption.
Well, how do you prove it's pointing to the centre of the Earth and it's not just pointing down?
Well, how do you prove it's not?
There is no down on Earth.
Wait a minute. What we have to understand is you've made a claim that the gyroscope, you've explained that a gyroscope always points to the centre of the Earth. So I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me, how that happens? And can you show me some evidence of it? How do you prove it? Explain that. How do you prove it's point?
You could stand on a you could take your front wheel off your mountain bike and then hold the each shafts of the spinning wheel of your mountain bike vertically, and then spin the wheel clockwise and then tilt it to the left and right, and you'll want to tilt the opposite ways, and you stop it and spin it the opposite way, and you can tilt it and you spin the opposite way again. It's gyroscopic precision.
Right, what happens if I start that gyroscope? Say I put that gyroscope at a 45-degree angle and start it spinning. Is that pointing to the centre of the Earth?
No.
Right, so what you're saying then, how can you prove it's pointing to the centre? Because I've just got a gyroscope, it's at a different angle, but you've seen a gyroscope will spin straight down and it will be pointing to the centre of the Earth, because it does that always points to the centre of the Earth.
Once you spin it up and tilt it and equalise it, that you're not moving anywhere back or forth, left or right, then the vertical shaft of the vertical axis of that wheel is pointing at the centre of the Earth.
Yeah, but doesn't it have to? Isn't it when you start it up, whatever position you start it up, and it tries to maintain that position?
No, because when you're starting it, there's no gyroscopic position. There's nothing to start.
Right. All right. Let's just give him that. The axis points to the center of the Earth. We'll give him that one. Can you show us any part of a gyroscope that actually has an indicator that points to what you call the center of the Earth? We'll give you it, but can you give us the point? Show us where the gyroscope has got any reference to what you call the center of the Earth, assuming that it exists. We'll give you that it exists, but what's the thing inside the gyroscope that points to? In other words, like the finger that points to it. Where is the mechanism inside any gyroscope? It would be worth considering John Savage's work. He's stripped open attitude indicators.
No, and this will be great because you won't take it. But any vertical spinning shaft in a artificial horizon in any general aviation airplane or a commercial airplane.
Yeah, but what I'm asking you is there any evidence inside any of them that shows a part of it that points towards the center of the Earth? So a physical part of the gyroscope that points towards it? Because then my next question is, okay, you found one, how is it controlled? But that's you have to establish that there's one factually there first.
Well, see, this is a thing where you have the edge over for no reason at all. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Alan.
Please don't
I didn't
swear.
say that.
Try not to swear, Jazz.
Jazz,
Sorry, Nathan, I didn't say it.
What were you bumbling out then? You weren't making coherent much sense there, you know. Say it again.
No, what I was saying was, can you prove otherwise?
Yes, I can prove that there is absolutely nothing inside a gyroscope or an attitude indicator that points to the center of the Earth. Nothing at all. There is a 3-axis gimbal, and there is no indication whatsoever of anything that points to the center of the Earth. And even if there was,
there's a mass perpendicular to the rotational shaft of the gyro that proves gyroscopic precision.
Okay, can you show that? Because I can show you that it doesn't.
How can I show you that?
Is there anywhere where
wire
you've
up a gyroscope, let it spin, and measure the precession? It's very simple. It's been demonstrated not to happen by John Savage.
Yeah, John Savage has pulled open a gyroscope, and there is absolutely nothing inside of it that is mechanical, electronic, or otherwise that points to any reference point whatsoever, be it the center of the Earth or the North Star or whatever. There is nothing inside. There is just a 3-axis gimbal, and there is no points of reference to it.
Did John Savage, if there's nothing that can prove it, did he balance a mass 90 degrees perpendicular to the point of rotation?
Yeah, he's he didn't balance them. No, what he did was he's done numerous tests. One of the best tests he did was he stuck it on a clock mechanism, and the clock mechanism span. It was a 24-hour clock instead of a 12-hour clock, and it span at 15 degrees every hour, which is coincidentally the same rotation as the Earth does in 1 hour as well, and it recorded 15 degrees. So he showed that it is capable and did record 15 degrees of movement in an hour. But when you don't put it on the clock mechanism, it don't move, which indicates strongly that we are not moving. So my question is, if John, I mean, are you familiar with John Savage? Do you know his work?
I'm going to guess no.
Alan Turing done great work in 1940. No, I'm not specific with his work.
All right. Well, the Ball Earth guy that does the same kind of work is Wolfie 6020. Miles Davis has just plugged him in chat. You should go and look at some of his just for just to help you with what you see inside of it from a Ball Earther's point of view. But then when you go to John Savage's channel and look at what he does and shows the tests that he does, you'll realize that Wolfie's just literally, it's rhetoric only from Wolfie. And he doesn't prove anything that John Savage proves. And he doesn't recreate John Savage's work. You know, it proves that we are not spinning and that they do not follow the curvature of the Earth.
Well, that Wolfie, he plays with plastic aeroplanes. That Wolfie, he plays with plastic aeroplanes as an example.
I'm not sure I would, but hey, fellas, is there any chance of getting Wolfie in the chat?
All are welcome. I don't know if Wolfie watches this show. Please share the show.
Oh, no, I just thought somebody said Wolfie was.
No, Wolfie is a Ball Earther.
This is why I plug people to share. Share. Then people like Wolfie may get to see and join. The link is open to everyone.
He's also a qualified pilot.
Sure, and I'm sure Wolfie would be able to show you the insides of a gyroscope and point out specifically the reference point that you claim is there on the vertical axis that points to the center of the Earth. And I'd challenge Wolfie to do that live. I mean, I don't think he'll come on here, but
I'm sure if he wants to come on, would have a great yarn. I might have got it cocked up. I haven't flown for 9 years, but
I would assert that Wolfie wouldn't come on, not because he whatever, but because he wouldn't be able to demonstrate that there is a pointing reference on the vertical axis inside a gyroscope, which will be a problem for following the center of the Earth.
Isn't the fact that it's vertical the reason?
Pardon?
It's vertical.
What's vertical? What's vertical and what point are you making?
It's vertical.
That's the same thing you've said 3 times now. You need a little bit more, like an adjective.
Or a noun. I'll have a consonant, please.
Few other little constituent parts of a sentence, basically, Alan.
Don't be rude, Nathan. It doesn't become you.
Yes, that was an excellent example of a sentence, Alan.
Shall I give you another one? Anthony, go back and get the air temperature, water temperature, and air pressure.
Why? There's no evidence of non-standard.
I'll tell you why, Alan. I'll tell you why, Sleeping Warrior. Go back and get them, because Alan needs them to explain why something that is not there on his model is actually there in a photograph. That's why he wants you to get them, because his model can't account for the things being there that are there. On his model, he wants to talk over me now. This horrible detail is reiterated again, that on his model, it's geometrically not there. You can't see it. It's physically not there.
Nathan, if I went back
so he needs air temperature readings so he can account for it with a band-aid theory. Because at the moment, they have this band-aid theory, but they've provided no evidence to actually back up their slightly looming non-standard refraction fantasy.
Now, scientifically, if he goes back and collects them, you would be able to eliminate the possibility, not the claim, of non-standard refraction.
Yeah, that claim isn't necessary to be dismissed because geometrically what we see is not there. That's a fact, regardless of whether or not you can account for it with refraction. You want us to discount that refraction's bringing it back? No, thank you.
Yes,
that's okay, Alan. If you want to do that, be our guest. It's a bit like the Google Heights. If you want to debunk Google, be our guest. if you want to claim that slightly looming non-standard refraction is a plausible account for why something that is physically not there is in a camera shot, then that's fine. You can prove that if you choose. We don't have to go and disprove your claim and your assertion that the geometric impossible item to see is there because of air temperature readings. That's your fantasy. You can feel free to prove that fantasy with some evidence rather than just assert it as fact. Yeah, of course it's slightly looming because it's not there. We can't see it. If it wasn't slightly looming, we wouldn't be able to see it. Well, that's just a crap excuse, a band-aid theory for a geometric fact. The geometric fact that the lighthouse is not there on your sphere.
Just go back and do the job properly.
What, the job that accounts for it not being there? We already know it's not there.
Don't have the readings, so you can't eliminate the possibility.
The readings are set in stone. The circle of the Earth is measured. The circumference is 24,900 miles, Alan. That's a set figure. That's not changing anytime soon. Doesn't matter what Google represent it as. Doesn't matter what you think or believe. The fact is that lighthouse is not there. Geometrically impossible to be there. We don't have line of sight with it. It cannot be seen on your model. That is a fact. Some people, idiots, who want to believe they live on a sphere, deny that fact because they're idiots. Other idiots, like yourself, try and get other people who don't claim they live on a sphere to prove their band-aid theory for them so they can continue asserting their belief. That's what you want. Well, we're not going to give it to you, Alan. If you want to believe that it's looming, then you can believe it all you like. If you want to try and back up that claim with some evidence, that would be wonderful, but we're not going to do it for you. We don't need looming or refraction to account for this observation. We see it because it is there, because we do have line of sight. You have to account for the fact that it is not there on your model, because that is a geometric fact.
Nathan, mocking and making fun of refraction doesn't debunk it.
Yeah, Nathan. I didn't try and debunk refraction. I said on your model, fact, that lighthouse is not there. If the audience chooses to believe that it's being brought back from the other side of a hill by refraction, they are welcome to believe whatever they like. However, the fact remains. The lighthouse is not visible. It is not there. We do not have line of sight with it. That is a geometric fact. How you bring it back into sight is your own pathetic excuse for belief. And I don't care how you bring it back into vision. That's your fantasy, not mine.
Hey, Riley. Riley.
Riley. Go on.
I've just seen that Miles has uploaded an apology to Runty. So are you prepared to release the metadata?
The metadata was subject to two requests. One that was Al K and Miles released the evidence of Isle of Man in the form of the video that they took, which I don't believe they've done. And secondly, that Jeremy retracts his comments that I was in any way dishonest or indeed lying about my observer height when it was evidenced by the video I was referencing Google, which does actually put it at 35 feet. So until those things are happening, I don't need to release the EXIF data.
Well, you've got one apology. Why not to release the metadata from one of the three videos?
I'm not interested in the apology to Ranty. I'm interested in Miles putting the video out, or Al putting the video out that showed what he did get of Isle of Man, because that's really what they were trying to debunk. What did they get?
Is that to know, then? Is that to know?
That's a no.
No, it's a reassertion of the conditions that were laid down in order to release the metadata. Are you deaf?
No,
he doesn't understand it. He thinks that the apology to Ranty in some way is the condition that's now accepted. And you have to remember that I'm not interested in the Ranty apology in terms of the EXIF data that is falsifiable in any event and seeks only to try and cause me a hassle I don't need to have. Why would I release something that's falsifiable? It's just going to get instantly accused that I've falsified it.
Just do it on your machine. Make a video of it. You doing it on your machine.
And,
why would you tell lies? Do you tell lies, Anthony?
Nathan, Miles asks, how do you know the assertions about Mackle Lighthouse and how it's a geometric impossibility without knowing an accurate observer height? Would you address Miles specifically on how you know that there is an accurate observer height?
Even if you went up to a considerably higher distance, it still wouldn't be there, Miles. Simple.
Riley, are you going to stop calling Miles a liar now?
He is a liar.
No.
He said in the chat
He
earlier,
is a liar.
Alan, sorry, I'll just address this. He made it very
Sports.
clear that gathering accurate data was extremely important. He then later, within minutes, said that he had got estimations of very, very important data according to him. So,
Yeah.
he's a liar. He lied.
He is a
According
liar.
to him, it's
And the
important to gather accurate data, but what he has actually gathered is estimations, not accurate data. The man is a liar.
The key point that Miles the Liar Davis has lied about is that he claimed he was at 40 feet of observer height when he claims that the elevation of the observer is really important and he really needs that information, yet claimed 40 feet and me and Ranty measured it at 29. So that is a lie. Miles claims that it was merely an estimate. Well, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? Substantively in the favour of the ball earthers estimate. Put it that way. Yes, you did say that, Miles.
Giving an estimation after declaring how thoroughly important it is to get accurate measurements. How unbelievably dishonest.
So, Miles, you just literally, you're laying your own grave. We could make a video about the thing that you did say in this chat that I referenced about 15 minutes ago, and I read it verbatim. And then the comment afterwards where you basically said the exact opposite again. Again, Miles, you flip-flopped. You're dishonest, Miles. You're a liar. You are fundamentally, objectively zero, and you're just a nonsense baller that believes nonsense. You lie, Miles. Let you on so you can explain what you mean with more lies. I think Ali B might have actually kicked you before. You won't be able to join, Miles.
Yeah, you're welcome back tomorrow, Miles. Just sort your audio out before you come. If Alan B can manage it, you can manage it.
No, I won't lie. Miles, I don't think you understand what the truth is, Miles. You are totally dishonest, Miles. And I call you on it. I mean, you didn't even measure, you estimated your observer height at 40 feet. Me and Ranty looked at that and said, there is no way you're at higher than the elevated hill I was on. And it measured at 29. Miles, you are dishonest. I don't know how you could possibly put yourself at 40 feet, which is higher than the observer height that I was at, and you're on the triangle on the floor level. What are you talking about?
Anthony, did you include low tide in your height of 35 feet?
Well, according to your model, it's based on average mean height. Sorry,
It was low
average
tide, though,
mean
wasn't
sea.
it?
Mean sea.
Sorry,
See that in the pictures.
Yeah. Say again?
It was low tide, though, wasn't it? You could see that in the pictures.
No, it was on its way down, but it wasn't at low tide.
Does one trust him?
Well, it's in the
Yeah.
evidence. You can just look for yourself.
I would do if I had the videos. You won't release them.
There is a video taken from a 35 feet observation height that was dissected up and debated about and claimed to be 100 feet plus on multiple occasions by your side. We now have a position where there is a man who is a liar in the chat who has gone and got some estimations, but claims it's very important to have accurate data.
He's apologised. Stop calling him a liar.
He is a liar. He claims it's important to gather accurate data but releases estimates. So by his own standards, he is a liar. He can estimate things when it's to his advantage. That's deceptive, therefore lies.
Nathan, I'm sharing my screen, mate. Would you present it to everyone so that they can see? So this is to quantify how dishonest Miles is. I can't remember which video it is, but go into his channel and look at it. You'll see it yourself in black and white, unless he removes it. Now, I put myself at this point here, which is about 33, 34, 35 feet. That's where I did my observation. Miles done an observation from this point here, which is at the top of this like pathway thing here, and he put himself at 40 feet. But even at 29 feet, which is the distance we measured him at, it still says on Google Earth 29 feet. Now, I didn't realize that it said that on Google Earth. I've just checked it to see what value it said on Google Earth to see why Miles put 40 feet. And the answer is it was 29 feet measured, and it was 29 feet when we at Google Earth. So again, Miles, if you've estimated that you were at 40 feet, why would you not put yourself at 29 feet like I did on your model? Because that is what your model predicts. I mean, is that not fundamentally dishonest? This is where Miles was. This is what, if I was there, I would have put 29 feet. And you know what? When me and Ranty went and measured it, it was exactly 29 feet.
Just want to
rounded it up to 30.
Just want to say something, just while we get off, just so we come off the subject of Miles the Liar Davis. So your claim is that these elevations are your elevations. The heights that were shown in the bottom right-hand corner, those were the heights that are being used. Not Anthony Riley's heights, not his tape measure heights, the heights that are stated on Google. That is the claim.
So Miles Davis claims he measured the heights using a laser device. Didn't he previously in the earlier conversation say that he estimated the heights? And now he's saying that he measured them using a laser device. Have I misinterpreted something there, Nathan? Or is he literally nonsense
I haven't seen
lying
that.
again?
Have you seen any data that would suggest he's used a laser? I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
I have.
No, but
You've seen
he did
that,
say
Alan?
that he.
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold on. Let's see. What have you seen, Alan? Fill us in.
If you look at Ali K's video, he shows the digital measurement tool there.
On Ali K's channel, yeah?
Yes.
Let's try that then.
Can you tell us which video? What's the title?
It was the last one, I think.
Most recent.
Okay,
cool.
Yes.
All right, Nathan, if you wouldn't mind sharing my screen again, sir.
Yes, no
Let's
problem.
do it live.
Have a look. Wicked.
Okay. Let's see what we get from Al K. His last video. Sun Beneath the Clouds. Is that the one? Oh, Simply Observations Overview. 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Yep.
So you want me to go through that for 1 hour and 34 minutes?
No, I'm
looking
sure if
for
you
this?
scan through it, it won't take too long. You'll be able to find a point where he's got a laser on
Quite
it if you
close
just
to the
scan through it.
beginning. There's several stills included.
No, to be real accurate, I think we should take the point of where this video's been taken and use the laser instrument that measures the height of the cloud base above here, which I'm guessing is 7,500 feet. And then in the top left of the screen, where the cloud's 500 feet above the horizon, if there's land over there, let's look at an airport over there and see how high the cloud base is over there.
This is excellent. So what? I haven't seen this before. This is the first time I've seen it.
It's been out for weeks.
Now this is the point where Miles.
Are you not keeping up with the flat Earth debate?
Hold on, Alan. You've
Well, hang
pointed
on.
it out. Now we're looking
How
at
long
it.
ago was this?
It's
30th
at
of
least
January.
a week ago.
All right, it's been on a week. All right, so this is the point where Miles claimed 40 feet. So if this is based at the calculation of 40 feet, I'd like to know what value he gets for this bit. So let's see if he's talking about it.
Old Alan B, keeping you up to date. Crikey.
Yes, thank you, Alan.
Well,
Excellent. First time you've been useful.
Alan Turing, are we talking about the same day these measurements are being taken?
well, this is the 40 feet observation height that Miles estimated, but then he says he used a recording device to accurately measure it. Or he didn't say accurately measure it, he just said to measure it with a recording device or a laser device. So I want to know what.
With the one word.
So I want to know, what did he get this to? If he gets this to 40 feet in any way, then he's not using the correct feetage, because we measured it at 29 feet. We measured where that guy.
You can roughly scale it just by looking at it, I would say. Would you not agree? Sorry, can you stop laughing a second? If you go back to the original when you had it at ground level, you can. There you go. If you go to this. If you go to the one where he stood next to it. Alan, can you stop laughing, please? Here we go. Well, you can estimate how high he is, 6 feet. You've got 1.
No, let's say 5, because I think Al's small.
5.
Based on what I've heard.
10.
So 5.
15.
10.
20
15.
feet.
Well, we measured it down to the what you call it?
You got it to 29. He's estimated it at 40. He's a mile off.
Yeah.
It's about 3.5 times his size there. So he would have to be over 10 foot tall for that to work out.
Right. So basically, this is the lowest observation feet, claimed on Google to be 29 feet. And here's the shore. It's 29 feet. It's exactly what Google says it is.
Oh,
so this
Nathan, have you accounted for refraction in this picture?
No, that's a good point. Sorry, Alan, can you just dig out the slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena maths so we can account for the refraction in this image, please?
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of looming going on.
That's excellent. So basically, that observation point on is exactly 29 feet on Google, and even by a very, very crude estimation, you can see that that's accurate.
Yeah. Now I want to know, why did he put 40 in when it says 29 on Google and we measured it to be 29? So
you can see it's 29 just by looking at it, just with that there, with him having a pole held up to the height of that hill. You can't even call it a hill, mound.
So
not like the massive hill that's blocking your view of the lighthouse. That's a massive hill. That's hundreds of feet high. That thing that stops you from seeing the lighthouse, the thing that Alan can't admit that isn't there, that's a hill in the way. That would definitely block your view. This is just like a little mound of earth by comparison to that. That hill that we don't see, the hill that's not obscuring anything, the one that's blocking your view of the lighthouse, geometrically making it impossible to see on a sphere. Yeah, that's a big hill.
It could have been, Nathan, he could have been at a higher elevation because that pole looked as if it went higher. So he could have been actually, you know, that was above that height, that part of the cliff. But was he not standing on a mound behind it? What are they actually measuring there? Because he could be standing higher up, got his camera at 90 degrees, and he can see that, the very, very top of the pole. And if you know what I mean, in that kind of perspective, he could actually, the guy that's, you know, the observation height could be higher up behind that cliff. They might use that as an argument. So I don't know actually what they're doing there. You know, is it the cliff they're measuring,
pretty clear
or
to me.
the height of the observation point? Because they'll know the length of the pole. That pole, right enough. The pole's only 20 odd. It can only be 25 feet, right enough. Ah, yeah. Forget what I said. It was just a thought.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, I've seen so many snapshots of that particular location from Anthony and Ranty that I'm pretty certain where they're standing and what they're doing there. You know, if it
well, it's the length of the pole. It's actually, it doesn't matter where he's standing. It's the length that we can clearly see. That pole's about 25 feet long, so he wouldn't be measuring anything higher than 25 feet. It was just, I wasn't, you know, thinking right. I was just being over paranoid there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'd rather play devil's advocate, but we're delighted. I'm really pleased with that. So basically what they've confirmed is that at St. Bees, at least one of the elevations, admittedly the lower one, is absolutely in keeping with what Google Earth states it to be, which was pretty much what Anthony's been asserting this entire time, that we're using the values on Google Earth. That's our claim. If you want to claim they're inaccurate, prove they're inaccurate. Well, so far, they've confirmed that one of the heights at St. Bees is accurate. Google Earth's not a mile off. 30 metres out? Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to find the...
I think actually that, well, regarding this kind of experiment, I think ball earthers should actually go out and do more experiments for us. They're just proving a point every time they go out, you know what I mean? It's quite funny.
This is why they took so long releasing the data, and it slipped us by, admittedly, a week ago. Thank you, Alan, for showing us. I am genuinely grateful. But brilliant, that's why they didn't want to release it, because they're claiming a 30-metre discrepancy. Well, if there's a 30-metre discrepancy at the 55 feet observation point, then you've got to understand that within, what, 200 yards, there's going to be the same discrepancy? And what do you know? It measures just like Google give it as. What a shock. Not that I didn't know that already. So, Alan, what you got to say, my friend? So it seems like Al K has confirmed at least one position is accurate within a few feet of what Google give. So, what have you got to say about that, Alan? Do you still think there's a 30-metre discrepancy at the observation point?
No.
You don't? So
yes.
Would you say that Google Earth's figures are satisfactory to use?
No.
Why? What's wrong with them? Any evidence to suggest they're inaccurate? So far, we've just seen evidence that would confirm that they're pretty close. Would you not agree with that? What we've just shown?
You should watch the whole video and listen to what he says.
We've just watched a part of it that had specifically the pit you wanted us to look at with a laser attached to a pole. And then we've done a very crude, admittedly, guesstimation based on what we could see. And it clearly is not in any way supporting a 30-metre discrepancy. Do you understand that, Alan?
No.
You don't understand it? Yes, I didn't think you would. That's because you're a bit slow.
Ad hominem.
I'll explain it again because you're a bit slow and I have to repeat things for the slow people. Not ad hominem, just the fact. You are slow. It is taking twice to repeat exactly the same thing to you, right? So, Google Earth claims that that position is 29 feet. They've gone and measured it, and by our estimations, it's about 29 feet. So, it is not wildly inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres, 100 feet. We would need to see that 30 feet or 29 feet observation being inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres for that to support the assertion that Google is out by 30 metres. It is most definitely not out by 30 metres. If anything, it's exactly conducive with what they have demonstrated when they physically measured it. That's what we have just seen.
Nathan, do you understand it's plus or minus?
Yes, plus or minus, and then you need to back up that assertion by demonstrating that at any particular point, it is actually plus or minus. We had GeoStreamer give us an example. So he went to Germany, not 200 yards away from the observation position, but several hundred miles away, and showed where there was a discrepancy, where there was two elevations right next to each other that differed. That hasn't happened. What we've had given to us by the guys who went to discredit Anthony, even though it's not his claim, it's Google's, they have confirmed that Google is within a very close margin of error. That's what we've just had demonstrated.
Do you think plus or minus 30 metres is a close margin of error?
No, it's wildly, wildly inaccurate, considering we've just seen a demonstration that shows it to be within a couple of feet.
Show us the video with the tape measure.
There's no need. We've just seen a video given by your side of the argument that demonstrates quite clearly that the heights given on Google match what is quoted and what was measured. Do you disagree with that? Yes or no? Do you disagree that what has been shown by Alkay is confirming the heights on Google Earth at that location?
Well, I don't know what triangulation...
No, you don't know much, do you? Yeah. You're a moron. Tell me again what you don't know and I'll call you a moron. It's been demonstrated. It has been demonstrated by our opposition that the heights given at Google Earth at St. Bees are not inaccurate to the tune of 30 metres. That is what has just been shown by you and your evidence, Alan. That's what you told us to go and look at. And it absolutely confirms that Google's not wildly inaccurate.
Plus or minus 30 metres could mean anything.
No, not plus or minus 30 metres. That's not what they showed. They did not show a 30-metre discrepancy, Alan. That's not what we just witnessed. We witnessed it being about exactly the same.
Sorry, Nathan. Can I just say something before I forget? Right, we have to look at this in the bigger picture. Now what Alan is trying to do is use a flat earther's data, information, evidence to debunk a ball earther's evidence now.
So yeah, you want to see the tape measure to disprove what Alkay's just demonstrated for us quite sufficiently? Is that what you want, Alan? You want the tape measure, do you? This is why we didn't give it. So now we're going to tear Alkay a new asshole with his crap evidence that does not prove in any way that there's a wild inaccuracy to the tune of 30 metres. Thank you, Alkay. Finally, you've shown some intellectual honesty and provided evidence that supports our assertion. Well done, Alkay.
Hang on, let's not credit him with intellectual honesty at this point. We need to see the video first, and then. But we know what he should come back with. If he's done it with half an ounce of normality of a human, then we know what he'll come back with because we've already done it numerous times ourselves.
I just give him his intellectual honesty, man. Fuck it. Oh, sorry. Oops. No, it doesn't matter. Give him it. Just give him it. Give him it.
No, we need to be neutral because we haven't seen it. It would be wrong of us to credit him with anything if we haven't seen it, in the same way that it would be wrong of us to discredit him if we haven't seen it. So let's remain impartial. We'll watch it now that we know it's there, and we'll come back to you tomorrow.
No, let's just watch it.
It's an hour and 35 minutes.
Let's skip through it.
Well, I did just do that, and we found the point where he's got the thing up that Miles claimed 40 feet.
I think the longer this image is held up, we can definitely skip through that.
We just need to find the part where I need Ranty, actually. I don't know where Ranty is. He's normally here, but I need to find the part where Miles quotes himself at 40 feet, and then we'll play Al's video showing that he was at 29 feet. And then
I think we would, if we were in any way like the globe has, in other words, dicks, we'd have a whole string of clips of people saying, here's him at 100 feet, here's him at 120 feet, here's him in excess of 100 feet, because there's a discrepancy, according to Google, of 30 metres, which has absolutely been put to rest today on this show. I am so pleased, so pleased that the guys have gone out and confirmed that Google's not wildly inaccurate. Thank you so much.
Well, hang on, we haven't checked it yet, Nate. Let's not jump.
No, I'm happy to assert that based on what I've just seen. I've just seen them measuring to the top of that height of that hill, which I've seen you guys measure with a tape measure. I know how high it is, you know how high it is, and what's demonstrated in their evidence confirms all of the above. It is what it is. Google Earth's not wildly inaccurate, and they've proved it.
And let's not jump. There may be some obscure interpretation by Al K. So let's just say that he's got something there that we're going to go and consider, and we will consider it, and we'll come back. And hopefully, if he's done it right and he's done it accurately, he'll prove that Miles Davis is a liar. At 40 feet, that observation that he made was complete and utter nonsense, based on an estimation that Google Earth said was 29 feet, which just so happened to be what we measured it at.
What about the screenshot that Ranty released where you could physically see it run out of tape?
There is no screenshot with him running out of tape. What are you talking about?
There's a picture of Ranty with a blue tape measure where he's physically run out of tape.
Can we see the screenshot that you're referring to?
Well, you should ask Ranty. He released it.
You're the one citing it as an evidence. Can we see what you're referring to?
Let's see how quick you can do it. Hold on, Sleeping. So a moment ago you said there was evidence that nicely supports Google Earth, and you were very quick to find it. You told us what the title was and where it was. So tell us where this screenshot is so we can find it just the same.
Ask Ranty.
No, I'm asking you in the same way as we asked you to find the evidence for Al-K, and you did it fairly swiftly, and we found it pretty quickly based on what you told us. Do the same now for this evidence you've cited regarding Ranty having a tape measure run out of tape. Where is it?
On Ranty's hard drive.
Oh, right, so you haven't seen this. This is total nonsense. You are basically lying. You have not seen this at all. You're a liar.
No, I've seen it.
Just a liar. He's just lied through his back teeth. You haven't seen anything. If it's on his hard drive, you haven't seen it. You're a liar.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
So where is it? Where have you seen it? Where is it published?
Ranty published it.
Where? Where is it published?
He was wearing red shoes.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking what he was wearing. I'm asking where it's published, you stupid idiot.
And a brownish coat. The tape was blue.
So where can we see this published?
And you had a blue and white bag.
I don't need to know his outfit. I need to know where it's published so I can see it, cite it, and look at it, like we did with the other evidence you cited and found immediately, and were able to tell us where it was.
It was published on a Google Drive.
Right, so you can't direct us to the Google Drive, or you can just state that it's on a Google Drive as opposed to on his hard drive, which is what you said a second ago. You're just a liar. You're just a liar. Like Jem Panda lying about him being 100 feet in the air when he isn't. A liar. That's what you are, Alan.
Yeah.
You've just lied. I know you're lying.
Listen.
No, I'm not going to listen to you, you liar. You're just like Jem Panda and Miles Davis. Just a liar. Simple.
The picture's called Hill Measure Top 1 PNG.
So show it.
Ask Ranty. It's visible.
So if you've seen it, it is published somewhere, right? Or wrong?
I can see it. I'm looking at it now.
So show it.
No.
You're just a liar.
Making assertions about evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
Nope. I can see it. I'm looking at it. It's on a Google Drive.
I can see curvature. Actually, I can see a unicorn. I'm looking out my window right now, and I am seeing a unicorn.
All I'm hearing is a liar. That's all I'm hearing. Like people like Jem Panda, who I've just lost all respect for because he just asserts things without having any proof to assert them and claims other people are lying and they're not. It's now been demonstrated to my satisfaction that the guys who are asserting he's 100 feet in the air have gone and measured it and know full well he isn't.
Clearly visible, he's run out of tape.
What are you talking about? They're just literally the only thing that's been presented
Hang on.
was presented on this show and backs up what Google claim. In terms of elevation, Google's not wildly inaccurate. Now we're moving on to some bullshit claim that Alan's making.
If he'd run out of tape, wouldn't the tape be halfway down the mountain?
There's no more tape on the reel.
Yeah, well, the reel would come off then. The reel would fly off.
Nathan, I think you've been...
Yeah, do you understand that? The reel would fly off. If he had run out, the reel would come off, the tape would come off the reel.
No, it wouldn't, not if it's correctly
Yeah, it's my
mounted.
tape measure. I think I know my own tape measure works.
It wasn't your tape measure.
Yes,
not
it was
the one
my
that
tape
you
measure.
showed
I
in the
owned
picture.
it. Yeah, I owned
It
the
was
tape measure that would come off the 66-foot tape measure that you're claiming you ran out of. That would come off the reel halfway down the hill.
Riley, was it a blue tape measure that you used?
We've used two. We've used the 66 feet one that Nathan gave me.
Was that the blue one?
No, mine has got a yellow sticker on it and is black.
There's a blue. You used a blue one, yes?
We've used a blue one as well, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at.
Right, so can you present it? Show your screen and let's see what you're looking at.
Nope.
Why not?
It's on a Google Drive.
What's he on about?
Okay,
it's
so
just lying.
Can you present the link? Can you present the link and we'll click the link right now and we'll do it.
I'm not sure. I think the link is for Ranty's Google Drive. I'm not sure whether I should present that.
If it's a public drive, you can present it. Notice how we're just running around in circles now, while Alan asserts something that he has no proof to back up. So when it came to Al K's evidence, immediately we were on the video watching it. Now we're dancing around with Alan and his lies.
Not a lie.
Well, then provide some evidence, Alan. Like you did with Al K, you made an assertion, then immediately we're watching a video, as opposed to now, where you've made an assertion and you're just saying, no, I'm not going to show it. Well, Google, or well, it's on a Google Drive. Well, Ranty can show it. You've got every excuse under the sun with this assertion. Whereas with your last assertion, we were immediately watching a video. That's how it went down.
Was Ranty wearing reddish shoes?
Who cares what he was wearing? Show us a video with a tape that's run out and run off the reel.
The only person that would notice what shoes a bloke was wearing would be somebody that's of the opposite sexual orientation, because they notice what shoes people wear. Normal people do not notice it. No. Why would anybody notice the shoes?
I'm looking at the picture. I'm trying to prove to you that I'm looking at the picture from the day.
Click screen share. Click screen share. Top left. Shoes. Green button. Click screen share.
Dark grey trousers. And
screen share it.
An olive jacket with a blue tape in his hand. And on the floor to the left is a blue and white bag.
So what? What are you trying to prove?
Actually, I'm going to call you on that. I don't think Ranty was wearing red shoes on that day. So either you're looking at something else.
They're reddish.
So you're looking at either something else, or you're not. You're either guessing, or you're not looking at what you think you're looking at.
Just lying.
I heard it was
I'm sick of this conversation.
Out of Marks and Spencer's.
He's not provided any proof. He's just asserting stuff without any evidence and claiming he's got it and won't show it. So I'm just not interested anymore.
I'm going to go out and say that Ranty was wearing white trainers on the day, not red. So either you're looking at something else, or you're lying, or guessing.
No.
Yeah, well, that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah, it is.
I'm actually going to accept that he has got a photograph there.
I'm not. Ranty was wearing not red shoes. I know what colour shoes Ranty was wearing. He was wearing white trainers.
It could also be you.
Hey P, how you doing?
It's a good description.
I just want to say, if anyone suffers from depression, you can PM P Mars. I'm here for you.
I'm cheered up already.
Anthony, how about we make a deal? I'll show you the picture if you release the metadata.
Thanks, P Mars.
No, the deal on the table for the metadata is that if Jeremy retracts and apologises for his nonsense abuse of me about lying about the observer height, and Al K or Miles, whoever owns the video, shows what he actually did capture at Isle of Man with regards at St. Bees with regards to Isle of Man. That's the offer on the table.
Come on,
I'm not
make
bothered
it
about
up,
your.
Alan B.
I'm not bothered about your evidence, dude, because I know that Ranty was wearing white trainers. So whatever you're looking at is not the same thing. You've either got something wrong, you're misidentifying something, or you're just making it up.
No, it's true. I don't tell lies.
Well, I'm calling you a liar. You've either got it wrong somehow, or you're looking at something else, or you've not even got it at all.
Yeah, I'm calling you a liar too, and also what we have had presented in terms of measurements at St. Bees. Thank you. Alan took us there very swiftly when he made the assertion, and it backed up what Google had to say. They definitely didn't demonstrate any 30-metre discrepancy.
Plus or minus.
Not
0
plus or
to
minus
30.
anything. They didn't demonstrate any discrepancy at all.
Al, do you realise what plus or minus 30 meters means?
Yep.
Okay. Just talk us through what it actually means in relation to the claim of 35 feet of observer height.
So you
what
want
are the
me to
parameters?
do maths?
No, I want you to explain to me plus or minus 30 meters in relation to the 35 feet observer height. What does it actually mean?
What do you think it means?
We want you to explain. That's what he's asking you, Alan. He's saying, please can you tell the audience and us what you mean when you say yes, plus or minus 30 metres?
What do you think the discrepancy is, plus or minus?
Well, I'm just making sure that you understand the context of what you're claiming, because you're claiming it as though it's a debunk, but in actual fact, it makes it worse for you, not better.
Nope.
All right, I'll do it for you then. Let's start with the 35 feet in meters is around about 10. 3.3 meters to a foot, to a 3.3 feet in a meter. So 35 feet is just over 10 meters, right?
Google is
so
plus or minus 30 meters.
It's all right, Alan. He gave you an opportunity to explain it, and you didn't take the opportunity. Now he's doing it for you.
So 35 feet in meters is about 10. So plus or minus 30 feet, plus or minus 30 meters on 10 gives you a value of minus 20 meters below the surface of the Earth, or plus 40 meters. That's what we are talking about with that correction.
What it means is there could be a discrepancy of 0, or a 30-meter discrepancy, or
nah, but that's not plus or minus. No, but that's not plus or minus, is it?
That's not plus or minus. That's just plus.
Correct. And you're citing it plus or minus, Alan, as though it's some kind of debunk. But in actual fact, it makes your position worse, because that would mean we'd have to be 20 meters below the surface of the Earth for your claim of inaccuracy to be relevant. And as GeoStreamer showed, there was no evidence to support that assertion in this instance.
I wish I could share the photograph with you.
Yeah, I wish you would understand that GeoStreamer has demonstrated that 30-meter discrepancy he can find. There are instances in Google where there is a discrepancy of 20 meters as demonstrated by GeoStreamer. However, at the beach at St. Bees there seems to be no evidence in Google to demonstrate any sort of discrepancy to account for. Also, we have literally on this stream seen evidence that seems to support the height that Google quotes.
Okay, so on that silence, Nath, I'm going to ask you another question. This is the same question, but in a different way from another person. They're obviously not understanding how evidence works here, how assertions based on evidence works. But Darkstar he says, you guys need to condense your arguments and provide supporting evidence if you want to convince people. Do you want to respond to that again, Nathan? Because you do it really quite eloquently, and I quite like listening to you explain it to dumb people like Darkstar.
Yeah, sure. So if you make an assertion that Google says you're at 29 feet, the way you back that up with evidence is to go to Google and demonstrate that Google has the number 29 and the value feet next to where you point your mouse.
Correct. I agree completely. But then there was the claim that Google Earth could be up to plus or minus 30 meters inaccurate on the elevation. So who needs to provide evidence for that assertion? Is it the ballers making the assertion? Or is it us checking it?
Or Google stating it?
Nah, but Google stating it doesn't mean it's accurate, does it? Yes, we accepted it, and that's why we tested it. But who needs to present the evidence? Is it the ballers to assert the assertion to be accurate and applicable in this case? Or is it us testing to see whether it's accurate or not?
Well, according to Chris Monk's maths, a 30-meter discrepancy equals 30,000 kilometers.
Can you show evidence for that, please?
Yeah, go back and watch your own video, lazy sod.
So that would be a no.
So that would be
then.
a subject change by Alan. So, Alan, do you understand that GeoStreamer demonstrates that the reason Google give a 30-meter discrepancy is because you can find evidence of literally within a movement of your wrist on a mouse, a difference in 20 meters. That can be demonstrated in Germany. However, there is no demonstrable discrepancy at St. Bees, and there are individuals who have gone back and thankfully confirmed, as we knew they would, that the heights given are pretty much accurate in terms of how high you are versus when you measure it. That's been demonstrated on this show. So you can continue to claim that the 30-meter discrepancy should be applied in this instance, but we will simply refer people to this hangout so they can see Alkay measuring it.
I can see Ranty measuring it right now. He's
I
run
don't
out.
think you can.
Fascinating. Does it in any way support a 30-meter discrepancy?
Yes.
Right. Why does it support a 30-meter discrepancy, Alan?
He's run out of tape.
What is he doing when he's run out of tape?
It's just nonsense. I'm sick of hearing it. We've had a demonstration now. Al is just lying.
Well, the thing is, Nathan, just picture this, right? If he's claiming that that Ranty's run out of tape whilst doing the measurements, it would indicate that he's got a picture of Ranty looking up the cliff from the bottom, and he's trying to reach the tape measure because it's run out of tape, and he can't reach it because he's run out of tape. That's the image that I've got in my head. However, given that he claims that he's got red shoes on, or slightly red, or whatever description it was, indicates that the tape might be ruched up in a mess at the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill, and therefore would not be measuring anything. And to be run out of tape in that circumstance isn't really representing what you see accurately. Why can't you show the picture that you're referring to so that we can tell you what you're looking at?
Just ask Ranty. He has the pictures
No,
on his
that's-
Google
No,
Drive.
citing. Oh,
He'll measure top.
I don't need to ask
He'll measure
Ranty.
top
I've
1
seen it
kg.
on this hangout done by Alkay and Miles Davis. We've physically seen it already. So now you're literally doing as Ali B has suggested, which is to suggest that Anthony has gone out and acquired evidence that debunks the globe Earth evidence, which has literally been demonstrated on this stream. That's what you're claiming with absolutely nothing to back it up. It is preposterous. You've got nothing to back up any of your assertions whatsoever. What we have seen demonstrated on this show is a demonstration that backs up Google's claim in terms of their height above sea level. That's what we've seen. And with that, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and sharing this debate. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.